What's up, guys? It's Skyrim. That's right, you guys. Yo, snap. Is it gonna be an awesome freaking day? So, guys, welcome back and happy Thursday. So, out of all the mods you voted on from last week's episode, this is the one that won. But don't forget, down there in the comment section, vote 1, 2, or 3, or check out the poll in the top right-hand corner to see which mod we're doing for next week's episodes. Without further ado, let's get into it. So, SKALLAGRIM'S ARMOURY by Garrus the Lone Wolf. Now, this mod was sent to me via DMs in Discord, and I went ahead and took a look at it, and I gotta say, the weapons in this armor pack, or in this weapon pack rather, are super realistic looking, and I'm very happy to showcase these because of how realistic they look. In fact, it comes with quite a few weapons, as you can see right here. It comes with a whole bunch of them. Not this stuff, though. We can just go ahead and drop that. There we go. Perfect. Don't need those anymore. But all of the weapons that you saw right there, they are fully craftable within the forge. And let's go ahead and get out of dialogue with this guy. And then let's go ahead and take off my god ring, just so that you guys can actually see the stats and the correct stats of the weapons and stuff like that. But inside of my hands, I am holding one of the new weapons in this weapon pack. It is known as the Caithness greatsword. Now, each and every single one of these blades within the description of the mod actually has its own lore behind it, which is kind of a nice little, it's a nice touch that was added by the mod author. Now, this blade comes in two variants. We have the Caithness greatsword, and then we also have the Caithness sword. Now, that's a theme within this weapon pack. Is it actually comes with two of each of the weapons. So you get, you know, a greatsword, or you get a sword. You get a great Khopesh, or you get a Khopesh. You get a greatsword Kukri, or a Kukri knife, or you get a regular Kukri. It's kind of cool, but let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see. Can we go ahead and do my thing where I drop it and take a look at it? Please tell me it's going to show up. It does. Perfect. Now we can get a better look at it. I was really hoping that we'd be able to look at it. But as we get closer and closer to the blade, you guys will notice that it's pretty high resolution textures on these blades. The handle being green, I don't know if I'm too much of a fan of it. But overall, the blades, very high resolution. It probably doesn't do it justice being on such a white background. But let's see if we can find something a little bit darker or something with a little less light. That way we can check it out in all of its glory. Let's see, we can go and just drop that right there, and then right there, and then maybe just get a little bit closer so we can just kind of see the details. You know, you can see how they're, you know, they don't really change a whole lot even outside of the light, which is kind of nice. So that's the first blade within this mod pack, and like I said, guys, you can craft each and every single one of these. It would probably be a good idea to have all of the crafting perks in there. That way you have the ability to craft them all. But we now come down to the Great Khopesh. Now, the Khopesh has always been a really cool looking blade in my opinion, although I have one gripe with this blade, and it's the only thing is I don't like the same colored blade to the handle. It almost looks like it's just one piece, and I feel like the blade should be a different color to the handle. It could just be my personal opinion, but the Khopesh is such an interesting and unique looking blade, and I think it's just really kind of cool to have it in Skyrim. Now, what I love about this mod is it brings these hyper realistic blades into Skyrim, allowing you to, you know, really custom tailor the way you want your person to look, you know, as if you were someone from Hammerfell. I could see them using, you know, the scimitars and these as well. Same thing with the Kukri or the Kukri knives and stuff like that. But this is indeed the Great Khopesh and the regular Khopesh. Let's get a little bit of a better look at it by taking a look at it in floating mode. But here we go. Looks like we have a wooden handle, and then the blade seems to be made out of like ooh, I don't even know. It looks like it's made out of rusted metal. I'm not even sure what that would be seen as. I don't know. But overall, really beautiful looking blade. But let's move on to the Kukri. I believe that's how you pronounce that, or Kukri. I can't remember exactly how you pronounce that. But normally, I would say a Kukri is only a one-handed blade, but it's this nice bent blade. And that's exactly what the Kukri looks like. But what I love is the bevels of the blade are not the refined bevels you would see on a greatsword or a regular, you know, broadsword. They look really rough, and I kind of like that. It adds a little bit of character to the entire blade. But the greatsword version of it, that's where it gets a little bit crazy. I don't know if I like it too much, just because with a greatsword, you know, the blade is supposed to be straight, not bent. But I feel like this could do a little bit of damage if you were on the receiving end of this thing. I think it could do a lot of damage. But let's see. Let's get a little bit of a better look at it. So this blade, I think, is one of my favorites, with a nice wooden handle, with the you know, the golden ornate finishes, and then, like I said, the kind of the harsh bevel of the blade. It looks really, really nice. But let's move on, shall we? And there's a few more weapons to look at in this pack. So we have the Kriegmesser Greatsword. Now this one reminds me of a katana. And the only reason being is because of the curved blade at the top. It kind of curves as if it was a katana, or something like it. Kind of like almost like a mix between like a scimitar or a katana. Really, really nice. But a plain greatsword at that. And, you know, it's not a very ornate crossguard. The hilt is just very plain. You know, the handle is leather, and then we have a nice iron, you know, pommel on the bottom of it. But it's a nice blade to look at. Not to mention, you get this version and the regular version. So the regular one-handed sword comes with its own scabbard and its own sheath, but I don't think the two-handed one comes with a scabbard. Oh, it does! Look at that! I'm completely wrong. Perfect. So this one's very reminiscent of the Iron Greatsword, which is kind of nice to see, but it's a little bit more curved, obviously. But let's go ahead and take a look at this one out in floating mode. That way we can just see. See, sitting right there, it looks amazing. So maybe this weapon would be best served on a weapon plaque or something like that. But I like the almost kitchen knife finish to this. Do you see that? Like if you just cut this off right there, that almost looks like, and you know, if you shorten it a little bit, it looks like a kitchen knife or something like that, or just a nice Bowie knife. Kind of a nice big handle with this curved blade at the top. Very cool to look at, and probably my second favorite out of here. But my favorite is this one, the Lowlander, the gigantic greatsword that is pretty much a Scottish claymore on crack, but it's looking really, really neat. Although I don't know if you could technically classify it as a Scottish claymore, but this thing is... I have no idea what to even say about this. This one you actually don't even have a one-handed version just because of how freaking big it is. But the reason I like these big blades is just because they just say, don't fuck with me. That's exactly what they say. So let's go ahead and take a look at this beautifully done blade right here. It looks like this one had most of the work done on it because the details really shine through. The nice rounded pommel with the the black leather stitched handle, a very oversized handle at that, and then the nice big cross guard with this really cool symbol and the the circular the circular cross guard and the hilt. And then these little prongs right here, and then a blade that is just the length of a damn kitchen table. It's insane. I mean, it just keeps on going. Thing is insane. But let's go ahead and check out the last blade, which is the Reaver cleaver. The Reaver cleaver is indeed just what it sounds like. It's a cleaver, kind of like a meat cleaver. As you can see, it's got the stereotypical notch at the top, or the little hole at the top. Now, you could probably guess where you make this sword in smithing, in the orcish section, but this blade, it looks amazing. I love the blending of the orichalcum and the red leather. Looks really, really nice. But this comes in both a regular blade as well as the greatsword, which is what I'm most excited about, because who doesn't want to run around with a gigantic green cleaver and paint it red with the blood of your enemies? Yes, that's right, you damn goat. But very, very cool blade. I love the way. Let's go ahead and go on up to the cheat room real quick. Check out whether or not we can actually enchant them and make them better. Okay, so it turns out because I'm still in combat, apparently inside, outside of the cheat room, you can't access any of the workbenches. But I am looking at it in the mod description, and it says all weapons are craftable, upgradable, and enchantable, which is perfect. Now, before we end off today's mod showcase, I have to go ahead and take a look at some of the statistics of the different swords, because a lot of them, they boast a lot of different stats. So we have the Caithness Greatsword with 19 damage, with the sword counterpart being 10 damage, the Great Khopesh with 23 damage, and the Khopesh being 12. The Kukri is 12. Kukri Greatsword is 24, which is interesting. That does more damage than both the Caithness Greatsword as well as the Great Khopesh. The Kriegmesser Greatsword is 20 damage, with the sword being 10, the Lowlander being a measly 21, and then the Reaver Cleaver having 15, and the Reaver Great Cleaver having 24. So the Reaver Great Cleaver and the Kukri Greatsword are both along the same lines as damage goes. Interesting to me. I would have liked to see a little bit better statistics for a lot of these weapons, but that's just my personal preference. But just to go ahead and show you, you can indeed enchant them, which is perfect to know. And then just for shits and giggles, let's just make sure that we can upgrade these bad boys, even though I know we can. Yes, we can. So they can go all the way up to Legendary, and then you guys can have a lot more fun with that. So guys, I very much hope that you enjoyed today's mod showcase. And before we end, there's actually one more weapon in here, but I wasn't able to find where it's at. It's the pole axe. I kind of wish I would have been able to find it, but let's see. Where does it say? Crafting, steel smithing. Yeah, I couldn't find it within the steel section, unless I just passed it up. No. No, I did not. Okay, so perhaps it's going to be added within a new update, but do know that all of these weapons have been added into into the leveled lists of your Skyrim, so you can find them naturally throughout Skyrim. So guys, I very much hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.